Hi guys, Rebecca here, and for today's 5-minute video, I'm going to be talking about a really common glute exercise that I see people do with not great form, and you're not hurting your glutes if you do it wrong, but you are very likely to be hurting your shoulders and your back. And so a lot of times people complain about having a sore lower back when they do glute work, and 9 times out of 10 it's because they're not engaging their core properly, and if they're doing this particular exercise, a lot of times that means that they're also sinking into the shoulders. So I'm going to show you a glute kick back, how to make it a little easier, how to make it a little harder, and you don't need a weight, but that is how we're going to make it harder. So if you have one, you'll want to grab that. So we'll come first of all onto hands and knees. And when you come onto hands and knees, the first mistake I see is that oftentimes people put the hands too far forward. And when the hands are so far forward, we're really likely, first of all, to sink even more. And then the belly kind of drops down. And the other thing is that you're putting a lot of the pressure on your deltoids and your shoulders, particularly in the front and center portion of your deltoid. And so you're kind of missing out a lot on all of this strength through your serratus, through the rib cage here, in your lats, in your back. You're just missing out on that. You're front loading a lot. So we want to take the hands right underneath the shoulders. If you have wrist issues, a nice thing you can do is put your hands on weights like that so that you can hold a straighter wrist there. You could even come up to the fingertips if you needed to, if you want to, if that helps. Or ever so slightly let the hands come out in front, but just an inch or two, just to take some pressure off of the wrists. Make sure you're pressing your whole hand down. And then again, don't let yourself sink in here at all. We want to really keep the shoulders drawing sort of away from each other. So instead of letting the shoulder blades kiss, we want to press the earth away, get super strong. And then once you're pressing away, you can engage your core and find a nice long spine. So we don't want to stick the tushy out. Flat back. And now we're ready to go. So I've got my knees underneath me. Now, I can flex this foot and I can aim it up towards the sky and draw in. So this is a really basic glute kick back. A lot of times when people are new to this, what happens is as soon as that leg lifts, everything else goes. It goes sideways, sort of like a dog being on a fire hydrant. You wind up kind of twisting your shoulders. A lot of times people look back there at it, and so now I'm crooked. Now it's not to say that it's not valuable glute work to go sideways, but it's really not good for your shoulders or your back to be sort of sinking and falling here. So how do I fix that? One is that I want to really find my shoulders up over my wrists. I want to try to square my hips again, so I'm going to bring that right hip down, and then that way my right foot is going to be facing more up towards the ceiling. So if you need to, you can look underneath yourself and see what trajectory, what path that leg is taking. Keep your core strong. So if you want to go out to the side, that is a great exercise. But as you go out to the side, whether you go out in the back or whether you go out here, you want to keep both arms straight. The most common thing, again, I see is that as people lift that leg, they sacrifice their form everywhere else. In order to get that leg higher, people sink into the shoulder and kind of dip out or lean into this hip more. So I'm getting a little bit of glute work here, but not that much. If I push my arms straight, if I square my shoulders, if I pull in my core and really lift from there, then I'm getting a nice burn on just a few reps. So if you find yourself having to do like 20, 30 of those to feel anything in the glute, but your arms or your shoulders are getting tired, you're probably doing it with bent elbows and kind of squishing around. Now to make it harder, you can take a weight. I've got just a 10-pound here. Put it in the crook of your knee, bring it in, flex that foot nice and strong so that you're kind of squeezing the weight in. Make sure you keep yourself squared here, shoulders over the wrist, belly drawn in, push the earth away, squeeze that weight, and just glute kick back right up to the sky. And that's it. Good. The other thing I see, nice way to add in some core work, but again, you want to make sure that you're passing back through the right form. I see people adding in a little ab tuck. So they'll exhale and bring the nose to the knee, but a lot of times they'll lean back to do it. And so again, not great form. We want to keep shoulders over the wrist. And then as they inhale, they tend to go like this because they've just come from rounded, so they tend to go too far. So they wind up kind of bucking. We don't want to do that. So if you're going to add in that little core work, you want to exhale, knee to nose, pull your navel in, inhale straight to a neutral spine. Long neck, long back, belly drawn in, not dropping down, not overdoing it, right? So you should feel pretty firm here. So glute kick backs, if you're a beginner, start with about 5 on each side and really go for form over quantity, and then add in some. Normal rep range should be about 10 to 15 on each leg. If you want to add in those fire hydrants, that's nice too, but watch out for form. And you can work it into an exercise routine that you're doing kind of 3 times through. So if you have any requests for future videos, let me know, leave me a comment, and I'll see you next time. Thanks.